I love this question because it uses your brain power and also allows you to improve your English vocabulary. You need to identify all the words with the similar meaning. The words are leader, lender, leather, coach, and influencer. Keep in mind that there could be between 2 and 5 words in the answer. What's also interesting is that some words sound similar, but in reality represent very different meanings. Ready or not, I'm going to move forward and jump to the solution. Similar words here, as far as I see them, are leader, coach, and influencer. And obviously, if you have a different set of words, please make sure to post in comments. Let me share with you why those words are similar. The definition of leader is a person who leads or commands a group, organization, or a country. Coach is someone who trains a person or a team in a particular activity. And an influencer is someone who inspires or guides the actions of others. Basically, the similarity between these words is that they represent someone in power who uses his or her skills to help others. For example, leader could be a president, prime minister, or CEO. Coach could be somebody helping with sports activities like basketball coach, or with personal development like personal coach. An influencer could be someone who has following on social media, for example, social media influencer. Do you see any other ways to use these words? Please make sure to share in comments. When I saw this question, I couldn't believe the answer. You need to determine how many triangles are presented in a given shape. You see one triangle highlighted in red, but you have 4 different choices. Choices A, which is 8 triangles, choice B, 10 triangles, choice C, 12 triangles, or choice D, 14 triangles. How many do you see? Give yourself a little bit of time to see if you can come up with the solution. As I told you, I was really amazed, but the correct choice here is choice D, 14 triangles. Let me show them all to you. Here they all are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Did you see them all? Isn't it amazing how many triangles can fit into this simple shape? I learned something, hopefully you did too, and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. I love this question because it really makes you think in order to get to the correct solution. You need to determine which shape comes next in the sequence, and you're presented with the series of 5 shapes. Squares 1, 2, 3, and 5 have other, smaller shapes inside, and you need to determine shape 4. You have 4 different choices to choose from. Choices A, B, C, and D. Give yourself a little bit of time, look closely to see if you can get to the correct answer. Are you ready? Let's move forward and get to the correct solution together. You're probably tired hearing it, but my advice as usual, always look for patterns. And in this case, the pattern is location of the smaller shapes inside the square. You might have noticed that smaller shapes inside the circles are always diamond filled with black and oval with the black outline. This pattern is persistent for shapes 1, 2, 3, and 5. We can safely assume that the square 4 will have similar shapes inside, which automatically exclude choices B and C, only leaving possible choices as A and D. To solve this puzzle and get to the correct solution, we need to detect the second pattern. And second pattern is that oval is always next to the diamond, either to the right of the diamond or on top of the diamond. Based on this information, the correct choice here is choice D. Hopefully you've nailed this question and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. But in case you need more problems with solutions, please make sure to check out the description of this video. Here's the question for you to practice your skills. If you know the answer, please make sure to post it in comments so I can give you my feedback. You need to form the word using all the letters only once. And you're presented with 9 letters. Letters are T, F, A, L, C, U, P, M, I. Do you see the word? This is not a trivial task because there are 9 letters. But this is a very frequently used word from the English alphabet. Hope you found the answer. Please make sure to post it in comments so I can give you my feedback. Thanks for participating and good luck. One of the very hard challenges is forming the words using certain number of letters of the English alphabet. In this question, you're presented with 10 letters and you need to form the word using all the letters only once. The letters are N, V, A, O, I, T, and T, I, O, M. Do you see the word here? Give yourself a little bit of time, maybe 20 to 30 seconds. Hopefully you solved it because I am moving forward and revealing the solution. As you might have guessed, the word is motivation. Let me spell it for you. M-O-T-I-V-A-T-I-O-N. And the definition of the motivation is that motivation is a reason person acts or behave in particular way. It is also a process that initiates, guides, and maintains goal-oriented behaviors. Believe it or not, but doing more practice exercises helps you get better with the skill of forming the word. For example, if you start with the bottom right corner, you can form the word motivation. You see M-O, and then you swap T-I, and then if you continue, you go V-A-T-I-O-N. You can solve these types of challenges better if you do more crosswords and puzzles. Here's an interesting question where you need to correctly count the number of squares on a picture. Take a close look and select from one of the following choices. Choice A, 7 squares. Choice B, 8 squares. Choice C, 9 squares. And choice C, 12 squares. Make sure to count inside and outside squares to get to the correct solution. Let me show you the final answer. I counted 7 squares in the picture. Obviously, if you have a different answer, please make sure to post your solution in comments. Here are all the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Do you have a different number? I'm looking forward to your response if you counted more or less squares. Here's one of my favorite questions where you need to do mental math calculations. You're presented with the group of 4 numbers, and this group has an average of 24. The first 3 numbers are 16, 22, and 34. You need to calculate the value of the missing number, which is represented as the question mark. And you have 4 different choices. Choice A, 24. Choice B, 26. Choice C, 18. And choice D, 21. Can you do the math? Did you find the answer? Let's move forward so we can get to the correct solution together. Obviously, to solve it, you can plug in one of the 4 solutions. Instead of the missing number, calculate the average to see which one is correct. But we're going to take the different route. In the first step, we're going to calculate the sum of 3 existing numbers. 16 plus 24 plus 34 equals 72. In the next step, we need to determine what would be the sum of 4 numbers for which average would be 24. To do this, we need to multiply 24 by 4, and the end result of this would be 96. And in the last step, we need to subtract the sum of 3 numbers from the total where the average will be 24 to calculate the 4th number. 96 minus 72 equals 24. Let's verify this. 16 plus 24 plus 34 plus missing number 24 divided by 4 equals 96 divided by 4 equals 24. Hopefully you've nailed this question and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. Very frequently, you might get tested on how quickly you can form the words using letters of the English alphabet. In our case, you're presented with 9 letters, and you need to form the word using all the letters only once. The letters are R, E, P, X, E, T, E, S, I. Do you see the word? Give yourself a little bit of time, maybe 10 to 15 seconds, to see if you can answer the question. Ready or not, I am going to reveal the answer, which is the word expertise. And the definition of expertise is an exceptionally high level of skills, knowledge, or performance in a particular task or within a given domain. To better solve these types of challenges, try to look at the presented letters and try to form the word. For example, if you start in the middle and go EX, PER, TISE, you can definitely form the word expertise. Can you tell us how many questions did you answer correctly? Please make sure to post in the comment section of this video to share with others. And now let's continue to get you ready for the test. Here's an interesting challenge where you need to determine the relationship between family members. Amin is Baska's sister. Catherine is Baska's mother. Dan is Catherine's father. And Alan is Dan's mother. You need to determine how Amin is related to Dan. And you have 4 different choices. Choice A, grandfather. Choice B, grandmother. Choice C, daughter. And choice D, granddaughter. Give yourself a little bit of time to see if you can navigate in this puzzle and get to the correct solution. Ready or not, I am going to move forward, reveal the answer to you, and explain how I got to the solution. And as usual, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to share in comments. The easiest way to determine this multi-generational relationship in the family is to build a diagram. Let's do it one step at a time. Amin is Baska's sister. Catherine is Baska's mother. Dan is Catherine's father. And Alan is Dan's mother. Now let's look at the conclusions we can draw from this diagram. Amin and Baska are Catherine's children. Since Dan is Catherine's father, Amin and Baska are Dan's grandkids, which means that Amin is Dan's granddaughter. So the correct choice here is choice D, granddaughter. Hopefully you've nailed this question and now know how to diagram and solve similar problems on the test. Here is an interesting problem where you need to count the number of squares in the presented shape. The correct number is one of 4 different choices. Choice A, 22. Choice B, 10. Choice C, 18. And choice D, 14. Take a close look at the picture to see if you can come up with the right solution. I was really impressed, but there are 18 squares in this picture. Let me show them all to you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Do you see any additional ones? It is totally possible that I missed one of the squares. And if you do see any additional ones, please make sure to post them in comments. Here is a very interesting problem that you might frequently get on the test. You need to determine the next item in the sequence. You're presented with the sequence of large squares. Each large square contains 9 small squares inside, and small squares are of the different color. You need to determine next item in the sequence, and you have 4 different choices. Choices A, B, C, and D. Do you see the answer? Give yourself 10 to 15 seconds, maybe longer, maybe 20 to 30 seconds to see if you can come up with the solution. Did you figure it out? Let's go ahead, move forward to get to the correct solution together. As always, my advice to you, look for patterns. and determining the pattern is key to solving this particular problem. What you need to know to answer this particular question is that blue shape moves within the row of the larger shape. In each row, blue shape moves from left to right, one step at a time. And once blue shape reaches the end of the row on the right, it reappears on the left. So the correct answer here is choice D. Hopefully you've nailed this question and now know how to answer similar problems on the test. Here's a tricky question which tests your knowledge of English words. You need to identify all the words that are synonyms to the word large. You're presented with 10 different words: enormous, petite, insignificant, mammoth, minuscule, colossal, huge, powdered, gigantic, and dissolved. The tricky part here is that there could be between 1 and 10 answers. Give yourself a little bit of time to see if you can process the question. Let's move forward and I'll share with you my version of the answer. But obviously, if you have better solutions, feel free to share in comments. I found 5 words that are similar in meaning to the word large. Let me share them all with you. The words enormous, mammoth, colossal, huge, and gigantic are similar in definitions to the word large. Enormous means very large in size. Mammoth means huge. Colossal means extremely large, as well as the word huge has a similar meaning of extremely large. And then finally, the word gigantic means item of a very large size. And finally, something you may or may not know. Practicing questions like this not just helps you increase your English dictionary, but also increases your IQ. Here's a tricky problem that you might find challenging to solve. You're presented with the pyramid. Top of the pyramid starts with the missing number that you need to calculate. If you go down, second row contains numbers 29 and 34. Next row contains numbers 11, 15, and 16. Following row has numbers 4, 5, 8, and 6. And then the last row has numbers 2, 1, 3, 4, and 1. You need to calculate the missing number, which is in the top row. And you have 4 different choices. Choice A, 59. Choice B, 63. Choice C, 67. And then choice D, 73. Give yourself a little bit of time, maybe 10 to 15 seconds, maybe a little bit longer, to see if you can answer this question. Did you solve it? Was it hard for you? Let's move forward and I'll share with you my solution. But obviously, if you have a better way to solve it, please make sure to post it in comments. Tricky problem, don't you think so? But the solution to this challenge is really simple. To calculate it correctly, you need to move from the bottom to the top. And if you look closely at the pyramid, you will notice that the higher row is calculated as the sum of bottom values plus the increment. And increment also increases with each row by 1. Let me demonstrate. If we look at the numbers in the bottom left corner of the pyramid, you see numbers 2 and 1. Sum of 2 and 1 is 3, but then we add the value of the increment, which is 1, and the calculated value is 4. Let's continue with the sequence. Next set of numbers is 4 and 5. 4 plus 5 is 9. And then we need to add the value of the increment, which also increased by 1. So now instead of being plus 1, the increment is plus 2. 4 plus 5 plus 2 equals 11. Based on this information, the missing value can be calculated as 29 plus 34 plus the value of the increment, which would be plus 4, which equals 63 plus 4, which equals to 67. So the correct choice here is choice C, 67. Hopefully you've nailed this question on your own and now know how to answer similar problems in the test. Thanks for watching. If you liked the content, please give us a like and consider subscribing. Thanks for all your endorsement, support, and patronage. For additional helpful information, please make sure to check out links in the description. For detailed list of available resources, I encourage you to check out resources page on our website. howtoanalyzedata.net/resources. If you know someone who would benefit from this content, please consider sharing the link. Please leave the feedback, corrections, or suggestions in comments. And all the best on your journey. I'll see you in my next video.